Dr. Haynul Park stared at his computer screen in the dim light of his laboratory. It was past midnight at the Seoul Advanced Research Institute, but he couldn't believe. The numbers on his screen made no sense, yet they were real. The AI he had built was showing him something impossible. Earth is alive, he whispered to himself, rubbing his tired eyes. The laboratory was quiet except for the soft hum of computers. Rows of machines lined the walls, their lights blinking like stars in the darkness. Haynul had spent 10 years of his life in this room, working on the world's first true AI. But nothing had prepared him for this discovery. He picked up his phone and called the one person who might understand. After 3 rings, a sleepy voice answered. Dr. Kim speaking. Yoon-ji, you need to see this, Haynul said, his voice shaking with excitement. The AI found something in the Earth's core data, something big. 20 minutes later, Dr. Yoon-ji Kim rushed into the laboratory, her white coat thrown hastily over her pajamas. Her usually neat black hair was messy, but her eyes were sharp and alert. She had been Haynul's research partner for 5 years, and she had never heard him so excited. Show me, she said, pulling up a chair next to him. Haynul pointed to the waves on his screen. Look at these patterns from the Earth's core. Now look at these. He pulled up another window showing similar waves. These are consciousness patterns from our brain scan database. Yoon-ji leaned closer, her eyes widening. They match, she whispered. Not just match, Haynul said, typing quickly. They're getting stronger. Look at the readings from 10 years ago compared to now. He showed her another graph. The waves had grown bigger and more complex. The Earth is waking up, Yoon-ji said slowly, understanding dawning on her face. Before they could discuss further, both their phones buzzed with an emergency alert. A massive earthquake was heading toward a small coastal city in Japan. The scientists watched the disaster unfold on their screens, but something strange happened. The earthquake, which should have destroyed the city, suddenly changed direction. The seismic waves curved away from the population center, as if something was guiding them. It was impossible, but they had just watched it happen. Record everything, Yoon-ji ordered, already setting up their instruments. We need more data. Over the next few weeks, they noticed more unusual events. In Africa, underground rivers appeared in villages suffering from drought. In America, mysterious atmospheric changes deflected dangerous solar flares. In Australia, bushfires mysteriously stopped at town boundaries. At the Global Defense Force headquarters in Seoul, Captain Do-Young Lee was noticing these patterns too. He sat in his office, surrounded by screens showing global disaster reports. 20 years in the military had taught him that coincidences like these didn't exist. Do-Young pulled up another report on his tablet. A tsunami in the Indian Ocean had mysteriously lost power before hitting populated areas. Scientists couldn't explain it, but he was starting to form a theory. His phone rang. It was his old friend from university, Haynul Park. Do-Young, we need to meet, Haynul said without greeting. It's about the strange events you've been tracking. How did you know I was tracking them? Because you always notice patterns others miss. Meet me at the old coffee shop near the Institute. Bring your data. And Do-Young, keep this quiet for now. The coffee shop was almost empty when they met that evening. Do-Young arrived to find Haynul and a woman he didn't know already sitting in a corner booth. Steam rose from their untouched coffee cups. This is Dr. Yoon-ji Kim, Haynul said as Do-Young sat down. She's my research partner. Show us what you found. Do-Young placed his tablet on the table and pulled up his disaster tracking program. In the past 6 months, there have been 47 major natural disasters that changed course or lost power before hitting populated areas. That's statistically impossible. We know why, Yoon-ji said quietly. She looked around to make sure no one was listening, then showed Do-Young their data. Do-Young was a practical man who dealt in facts and numbers, but what they showed him challenged everything he knew. The Earth wasn't just a planet, It was conscious, and it was protecting humanity. Why now? He asked, studying the graphs. Why is it becoming active after being dormant for so long? Hanul and Yunji exchanged worried looks. Because something's coming, Hanul said. The AI detected unusual gravitational disturbances at the edge of our solar system. Something big is heading toward Earth, and the planet is preparing for it. Their discussion was interrupted by another emergency alert. This time, it was global. All their phones buzzed at once, and the few other customers in the coffee shop checked their devices too. Astronomers had detected a massive object entering the solar system. No, not one object, but thousands. They were ships, unlike anything humans had ever seen. It's happening faster than we expected, Yoonji said, gathering her things. We need to get back to the lab. Do Young, we'll need military clearance for what comes next. Do Young nodded, already making calls. I'll arrange everything. But we need to be careful how we present this. Not everyone will believe that Earth is conscious. They'll believe when they see what's coming. Hanul said grimly. The planet isn't just protecting us randomly. It's been preparing us for this moment. Everything. Our technology, our development, even our AI. It's all been guided. Over the next few days, the world changed. The alien ships were now visible through powerful telescopes, and their images were everywhere. People were scared, but strangely, there wasn't panic. It was as if something was keeping everyone calm. In their laboratory, now filled with military personnel and equipment, Hanul and Yoonji worked around the clock. They had to find a way to communicate with Earth itself. Their eye was the key. It could detect the planet's consciousness, but could it talk to it? Do Young coordinated with military commands worldwide, sharing data and preparing defenses. But how do you defend against an alien fleet when you don't even understand your own planet anymore? The breakthrough came on a quiet Sunday morning. Hanul had fallen asleep at his desk when the AI's alerts woke him. The consciousness patterns had changed. They weren't random anymore. They had rhythm, like a language. It's trying to talk to us, he realized, quickly waking Yoonjae, who had been sleeping on the office couch. Together, they watched as their AI began to decode the patterns. It wasn't words exactly, but emotions, images, and ideas. Earth was sharing its memories. It showed them how it had watched life evolve on its surface, how it had nudged humanity's development, subtly guiding them toward greater understanding, how it had protected them from cosmic disasters they never even knew about. But most importantly, it showed them why it had finally awakened fully. The approaching aliens, called the Void Collective, had destroyed other living worlds. Earth had felt their deaths through the cosmic connections all living planets shared. It would not let that happen here. As the first alien ships entered Mars' orbit, Earth sent one final message through the AI. It was simple but clear. My children, it is time to fight together. The message went viral within hours of Hanul releasing it. Some people called it a hoax, others a miracle. But when the ground beneath their feet trembled not with destruction but with reassurance, when the sky shifted colors and patterns too regular to be natural, when the seas moved in ways that defied physics but protected coastal cities, people began to understand. Earth wasn't just their home. It was their mother, their protector, and now, their ally in the greatest war humanity would ever face. The Void Collective was coming, but they would face something they had never encountered before, a planet that fought back. In the laboratory, Hanul, Yoonji, and Do Young prepared for what was coming. They had much to do and little time. But as they worked, they felt something they hadn't expected, hope, because for the first time in human history, they knew with absolute certainty that they weren't alone. Mother Earth was with them, and she was ready for battle. The message from the Void Collective arrived on all screens across Earth at once. Their ships now formed a dark ring around Mars, blocking out the stars. Lieutenant Jin A. Kang watched the alien commander appear on the main screen at the Seoul Advanced Research Institute. The creature looked almost human, but its skin was pale gray, and its eyes were completely black. People of Earth, The alien said in perfect English, "We are the Void Collective. Your world will join our empire. Surrender now, and we will make your transition painless." Jin'ei looked at Dr. Haynul Park, who stood beside her. "They don't know," she whispered. "They don't realize Earth is alive." Haynul nodded, his face serious. "That's our advantage. But we need to work faster." He turned to the quantum communication device they had built. It was their best hope of talking to Earth clearly, instead of just receiving scattered images and feelings. The device filled most of the laboratory's main room. It combined the AI's processing power with deep Earth sensors and quantum fields. Jin'ei had helped design it, using her knowledge of quantum physics to bridge the gap between digital and natural consciousness. "The Void Collective gives each planet 48 hours to surrender," Captain Du Young Lee said, walking into the lab with Dr. Yoonji Kim. "After that, they attack. It's always the same pattern." Yoonji went straight to her computer. "Earth is getting more active," she said, pointing to the energy readings. "The core temperature is rising, but in a controlled way. It's preparing something." They worked through the night, adjusting the quantum device. Earth's consciousness patterns grew stronger every hour, like a voice trying to speak louder. Finally, at dawn, everything changed. The quantum device hummed to life. Lights danced across its surface, and a deep warmth filled the room. Then they heard it, not with their ears, but in their minds. Earth was speaking. "My children," the voice said, gentle but powerful, "we have much to do and little time." Everyone in the lab stopped moving. Jin'ei felt tears in her eyes, though she didn't know why. The voice felt like a mother's hug, like coming home after a long journey. "The Void Collective has destroyed many of my kind," Earth continued. "They kill the consciousness of living planets and use their empty shells for resources, but they have never faced a world that fights alongside its people." Through the quantum device, Earth showed them visions. They saw how it had guided human development over thousands of years, nurturing their creativity and technological growth. They saw how it had protected them from countless disasters, waiting for the day when humans would be ready to know the truth. "Your technology and my power must work as one," Earth said. "Only together can we defeat them." Commander Taiwan Choi arrived at the lab later that morning. He was in charge of integrating Earth's power with human military systems. He looked tired but determined. "The alien ships are moving," he announced. "They're spreading out around the planet. We have 36 hours left." Haynul shared Earth's message with him. "We need to connect our defense systems to Earth's natural forces," he explained. "Earth can control weather, tectonic movements, and even gravity, but it needs our technology to focus these powers precisely." They split into teams. Jin'ei and Haynul worked on expanding the quantum communication network globally. Yoonji and Du Young coordinated with military bases worldwide. Taiwan adapted weapon systems to work with Earth's energy. Earth kept teaching them, showing them secrets about the planet they had never known. They learned about hidden energy lines crossing the globe, about ways to use the magnetic field as a shield, about how to tap into the planet's immense power safely. The Void Collective noticed something was different about this planet. Their ships scanned Earth constantly, trying to understand why their usual tactics of creating fear and panic weren't working. The alien commander sent another message, this time sounding less confident. "Your resistance is unusual," the commander said, "but it will not save you. No planet has ever survived our conquest." Jin'ei was working with the quantum device when she discovered something amazing. "Earth's consciousness isn't just in the core," she told the others excitedly. "It's everywhere, in the rocks, the oceans, the atmosphere. We can connect to it from anywhere." This discovery changed everything. They didn't need to rely on the main quantum device anymore. They could create smaller connection points all over the planet. Every military base could have direct contact with Earth. Taiwan immediately saw the potential. "If we can link our satellite network to Earth's power," he said, "we can create a planetary defense shield unlike anything in history." They had 18 hours left when the first tests began. At a remote military base, they fired a small missile straight up. Just before it reached the upper atmosphere, Earth's power grabbed it. The missile stopped in midair, held by forces humans had never controlled before. "It works," Newell said, watching the data. "Earth can catch our weapons and guide them. And that's just the beginning." More tests followed. They launched ships into orbit, and Earth helped them move faster than ever before. They fired energy weapons, and Earth amplified them with atmospheric electricity. They set up defense stations, and Earth connected them through its natural energy grid. The Void Collective watched all of this. Their ships moved restlessly in orbit, like hungry animals sensing danger. They had conquered thousands of worlds, but they had never seen anything like this. 12 hours before the deadline, Earth showed them one last secret. Through the quantum network, it taught them how to use the planet's magnetic field as a weapon. By combining human technology with Earth's power, they could create magnetic pulses strong enough to disable any ship. "We are ready," Earth said through the quantum device. "My children, you have grown so much. Together, we will show the Void Collective that this world is different. This world fights back." In the final hours, people around the world felt Earth's presence. The ground hummed with energy. The sky shifted colors. The oceans moved in perfect patterns. Nature itself was preparing for war. Jen A stood with her friends in the lab, watching the alien ships through their instruments. Newell worked at his computer, keeping the quantum network stable. Yoon-ji monitored Earth's energy levels. Do-young coordinated with military commands worldwide. Taiwan made final adjustments to the defense systems. "They're coming," Earth's voice said in all their minds. But they don't understand what they're facing. They think this is just another lifeless rock to conquer. They forget that every planet they killed was once like me. Alive, aware, a mother to its children. They took my sisters from me, turned them into empty shells for their empire. The voice grew stronger, filled with determination. But not this time. This time, a planet fights back. This time, we fight together. The lab fell quiet. Through the windows, they could see the sky turning dark as the Void Collective's ships moved into attack position. But nobody felt afraid. For the first time in human history, they knew with absolute certainty that their planet would protect them. Earth's final words rang in their minds as the first alien ships began to move. "My children, let us show them what happens when they threaten a living world and its people. Let us show them the power of a true alliance between a planet and its children." The Void Collective's deadline passed. The greatest battle in Earth's history was about to begin. The Void Collective's attack began exactly as Earth had predicted. Their ships released clouds of dark particles into the atmosphere, trying to block out the sun and disturb the planet's weather patterns. It was a strategy that had worked on countless worlds before. But Earth was ready. Major Sun Mai Ryu sat at her control station in the Global Defense Center, watching as Earth's atmosphere itself fought back. The alien particles met powerful updrafts that Earth created, carrying them harmlessly into space. Where the particles did get through, Earth adjusted its magnetic field to neutralize them. First attack failed. Sun Mai reported to Commander Taiwan Choi. Earth's atmospheric defenses are holding strong. Through their quantum communication network, they felt Earth's satisfaction. The planet had been preparing for this moment for centuries, gradually teaching humans the technology they would need. The Void Collective's ships moved to their second attack phase. They fired energy beams at the ground, trying to trigger earthquakes that would destroy human cities. This tactic had shattered the crust of many planets before. But Earth wasn't just any planet. Dr. Hae-Nul Park and Dr. Yoon-ji Kim watched from their laboratory as Earth did something amazing. The planet's crust became flexible, absorbing the enemy's energy beams like a sponge. Then, Earth channeled that same energy through its natural fault lines, sending it back into space as powerful geothermal blasts. Earth is using their own weapons against them, Yoon-ji said excitedly. Look at those energy readings. They're off the charts. Lieutenant Jinna Kang worked with her team to coordinate Earth's power with human satellites. They had discovered that Earth could use the satellites like focusing lenses, turning its natural forces into precise weapons. When alien ships tried to attack Seoul, they found themselves caught in controlled gravity wells that Earth created through the satellite network. Target locked, Jin-A announced as her team trapped another enemy ship. Earth, do your thing. The planet responded immediately. A massive electromagnetic pulse shot up from the ground, through the satellite network, and hit the trapped ship. The alien vessel's lights flickered and died, its weapons powerless against the combined might of Earth's natural energy and human technology. The Void Collective had never faced anything like this. Their ships moved frantically, trying to find a weakness in Earth's defenses. But everywhere they turned, they found the planet itself fighting back. Captain Du Young Lee coordinated ground forces worldwide. When alien ships managed to land troops, they found themselves facing not just human soldiers, but the very ground beneath their feet. Earth could shift the battlefield at will, creating barriers, opening chasms, even changing gravity itself to protect its human defenders. They're adapting their tactics, Du Young warned as he watched the enemy movements. They're trying to target our quantum communication stations. The Void Collective had realized that the connection between Earth and humans was the key to their unusual defense. Their ships concentrated fire on the quantum communication centers that Hae-Newell and his team had built. But Earth had planned for this too. Through their mental link, it taught them something new: how to use the planet's natural crystal formations as backup quantum receivers. Even if the enemy destroyed their machines, they couldn't break the connection between Earth and its people. The crystals in the planet's crust, Hae-Newell explained to the others. They're like natural quantum computers. Earth has been growing them for millions of years, preparing for a moment like this. The battle raged for days. The Void Collective threw everything they had at Earth: gravity weapons, time distortion fields, even devices that could drain a planet's core energy. But nothing worked the way it had on other worlds. When they tried to disturb Earth's gravity, the planet used its magnetic field to stay stable. When they attempted to drain its energy, Earth simply moved that energy through its global network of crystal formations, keeping it safe. When they fired weapons that could crack a planet's crust, Earth's surface became fluid and flexible, refusing to break. But the planet wasn't just defending. Through the human satellite network, Earth launched counterattacks that shocked the Void Collective. It created magnetic storms that disabled entire groups of enemy ships. It used gravity pulses to push attacking vessels into each other. It even found ways to redirect solar energy from space, turning it into a weapon. Sun Li coordinated these attacks from her station, working with Earth through their quantum link. The enemy fleet is down to 60% strength, she reported. They've never lost this many ships before. The Void Collective's commander sent another message, but this time its voice shook with something humans had never heard in an alien transmission before. Fear. What are you? The commander demanded. No planet has ever fought back like this. No species has ever joined with their world this way. Earth answered through every quantum receiver at once, its voice heard by both humans and aliens. I am what every planet you murdered used to be. I am life itself, joined with my children in defense of our home. And I am not alone. Through their connection with Earth, humans felt something vast awakening. Other planets in the solar system, which had seemed dead and lifeless, began to stir. Mars, Venus, even the gas giants. They all had sparks of consciousness, though not as developed as Earth's. And they were angry at the Void Collective for killing their sister planets across the galaxy. Jupiter's massive magnetic field began to pulse, creating waves that damaged alien ships. Mars' dust storms targeted enemy vessels with impossible precision. Venus' thick atmosphere became a trap for any ships that ventured too close. The solar system itself is fighting back, Jin-A said in awe as she watched the data. Earth awakened its siblings. The Void Collective's orderly attack dissolved into chaos. Their ships, designed to conquer dead worlds, couldn't handle planets that fought back. One by one, their vessels began to retreat. Earth didn't let them go easily. Working with the Human Defense Network, it created a series of magnetic pulses that followed the fleeing ships, ensuring they couldn't return. The message was clear: this solar system was off limits. As the last enemy ships disappeared into deep space, humans worldwide felt Earth's satisfaction. Through their quantum link, they sensed the planet's joy not just at winning the battle, but at finally being able to work openly with its children. In the Global Defense Center, Sunma looked at the final battle reports. No major cities were lost, she said, amazed. Earth protected us perfectly. Hanul and Yunji studied the data from their quantum networks. The connection between Earth and humanity had grown stronger during the battle. New abilities had emerged, new ways of working together that no one had thought possible. This is just the beginning, Earth's voice said in their minds. Together, we can do so much more. We can help other planets awaken. We can teach other species to connect with their worlds. We can heal the damage the Void Collective has done to the galaxy. As the sun rose on the first day of peace, people worldwide felt a deep change in their relationship with their planet. Earth was no longer just the ground beneath their feet or the world that harbored life. It was their partner, their protector, their friend. The battle for Earth was over. But the story of how a planet and its people learned to fight together was just beginning. 3 months after the Void Collective's retreat, the world had changed in ways no one could have imagined. The empty labs at the Seoul Advanced Research Institute were now filled with new equipment and excited scientists. Professor Min Ho-beuk stood at the front of the main laboratory, teaching a class of international researchers about Earth's consciousness. Our planet didn't just fight with us, Min Ho explained, pointing to the complex patterns on his screen. It has been teaching us. Every day, we learn new things about how Earth thinks, how it feels, and how it has guided our development throughout history. Dr. Haendel Park sat at the back of the room, smiling as he watched. His AI system, which had first discovered Earth's consciousness, now served as a translator between the planet and its people. The quantum communication network had grown, connecting more humans to Earth's thoughts every day. In her new research center nearby, Dr. Yoonji Kim worked with teams of scientists from around the world. They studied the crystals that Earth had grown in its crust over millions of years. These natural quantum computers were more powerful than any human-made machine. Earth knew the Void Collective would come one day, Yoonji told her colleagues as they examined a crystal formation. It spent millions of years preparing, growing these crystals, developing its consciousness, and guiding our evolution. We weren't just its children. We were its partners in a plan that took longer than our entire species has existed. The changes weren't just happening in laboratories. Around the world, people began to feel Earth's presence in new ways. Farmers found they could sense when rain was coming without checking weather reports. Engineers discovered they could feel the strength of bedrock before building. Children played games where they tried to guess what the ground beneath them was made of. And they were usually right. Captain Du Young Lee, now promoted to admiral, led a new kind of military force. Instead of just protecting human interests, they worked directly with Earth to guard the entire solar system. Their ships carried special crystals that let them stay connected to Earth's consciousness even in space. The Void Collective isn't the only threat out there, Du Young told his officers during a training session. Earth wants us to be ready for anything. That's why it's teaching us everything it knows about space, about other worlds, and about the living consciousness that exists in every planet. Lieutenant Jin Kang had started a whole new field of study, planetary psychology. Her research center helped people understand how Earth thought and felt. More importantly, they studied how Earth's consciousness was different from human minds, yet still able to work perfectly with them. Earth doesn't think in words like we do, Jin A explained to a group of students. It thinks in patterns of energy, in movements of rock and water, in the dance of magnetic fields. But when we connect through the quantum network, our minds learn to understand these patterns. It's like learning a new language, the language of planets. One sunny morning, Earth shared a special message through the quantum network. It had detected signs of consciousness awakening on Mars. The red planet, inspired by Earth's example, was starting to stir from its long sleep. Mars is like a child learning to walk, Earth told them through the quantum link. It needs our help to fully wake up. And when it does, it will need your help to heal its surface and bring back its oceans. Together, we can make Mars live again. This news excited everyone, but especially Professor Min-Ho Baek. He had been studying Earth's memories of how planets develop consciousness. Mars isn't dead, he announced to the world's scientists. It's just been sleeping, waiting for the right time to wake up. And Earth knows how to help it, just like it helped us. Commander Taiwan Choi worked with his teams to build new kinds of spacecraft. These ships used Earth's crystal technology and could talk directly to both Earth and Mars. They would help carry humans safely between the two worlds as they worked to wake Mars up. Major Sun Mai Ryu discovered something else exciting in her defense monitoring station. The methods Earth had taught them for protecting the planet could also help heal it. The same energy that had fought off alien ships could clean polluted air and water, restore damaged ecosystems, and even help endangered species recover. Earth wasn't just teaching us to fight, Sun Mai said during a global broadcast. It was teaching us to heal. Every weapon we created together can also fix something we've damaged. Earth wanted us to learn both protection and restoration. Dr. Hae Nul Park and Dr. Yoonji Kim made another amazing discovery. Earth had stored memories from other planets in its crystal network, knowledge shared by other living worlds before the Void Collective destroyed them. These memories contained secrets about the universe that humans had never imagined. Each planet that died was like a library burning, Yoonji explained to world leaders. They held knowledge collected over billions of years. Earth saved what it could, keeping the memories safe until we were ready to learn from them. Now it's sharing everything with us. Admiral Du Young Lee prepared for humanity's next big step. Earth had helped them build special ships that could travel to other star systems, ships that could carry the seeds of planetary consciousness with them. They would find dead worlds that the Void Collective had emptied and help them wake up again. We're not going out there as conquerors, Du Young told his crews. We're going as healers, carrying Earth's knowledge and power to worlds that have lost their own consciousness. We'll help them remember how to live again. Jin A's research showed something wonderful happening. The more humans worked with Earth, the more both species changed. Earth's consciousness became clearer and more focused. Human minds became more connected to the natural world. They weren't becoming the same. They were each becoming better versions of themselves. It's like a dance, Jin A said. Earth leads sometimes, teaching us ancient wisdom about the universe. We lead sometimes, showing Earth new ways to use its power. Together, we create things neither of us could have made alone. As the first anniversary of the battle approached, Earth shared a special memory with everyone through the quantum network. It showed them how it had felt when it first became conscious, billions of years ago. It showed them its joy at watching life develop, its patience in waiting for humans to evolve, and its happiness at finally being able to talk with its children. I am no longer alone, Earth told them. For billions of years, I watched and waited, knowing this day would come. Now we walk together into the future. My children have grown up, and together we will help other worlds remember how to live. Min-Ho worked with his students to document everything they were learning. They called it the Earth Chronicles, the story of how a planet and its people learned to work together, fought off an invasion, and began a mission to heal the galaxy. The final entry in the first volume of the Earth Chronicles came from Earth itself, speaking through the quantum network to all humanity. The Void Collective thought planets were just rocks to be conquered. They forgot that every world can be alive, aware, and powerful. They forgot that when a planet and its children work together, nothing is impossible. Now we will remind the galaxy of what they forgot. Together, we will help dead worlds wake up, teach young species to talk with their planets, and heal the scars left by those who tried to kill planetary consciousness. This is not the end of our story. It is just the beginning. As these words spread around the world, humans everywhere felt Earth's love and pride. They had done more than just win a battle. They had started a new chapter in the story of life itself. The tale of how Mother Earth fought with them had become a story of how Mother Earth would help them heal the galaxy. And somewhere in the depths of space, other planets were beginning to stir, waiting for Earth and its children to help them remember how to live again.